You are now listening to the Sin and Twin podcast.
Welcome back to the Sin and Twin podcast. It's your girl Sin, and I'm here with my twin.
Yo, what's up? It's Jay, a.k.a. Harbinar.
And today we are at Studio Woe, joined by our ever-loving Prince of Chaos. How are you today?
Good morning, humans. How are you guys doing today?
That's right. Feeling good. It's warm
Doing great.
outside, you know?
We got our own producer as our guest today.
That's right. So you guys have seen Jeff before. He produces our podcast, but more importantly, like we always talk about, he's a kick-ass DJ, and we're here to talk about what he's got going on these days. You ready?
Oh, yeah. Hit me with some questions.
First of all, where can everybody find you on social media?
So on all social media platforms, it's Prince of _Chaos.
That's
And
right.
You can find me everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and SoundCloud also.
So on top of DJing and rocking all the stages that he hits, we're here to talk about his new album.
Yes, ma'am.
Because he also is a producer. So why don't you tell everybody what we've got out now?
Okay, so my latest project that's out right now is it's a 3-song EP called Peace, Love, and Chaos. And it's a combination of hip-hop and EDM, which is basically my wheelhouse, essentially, when it comes to producing. So I basically, combine those two elements to create like a whole vibe with a bunch of amazing artists on it as well.
Yeah, which is a combination that we all need, hip-hop and EDM. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
That's party music right there, no matter like what background you come from.
Exactly.
Okay.
Chaos
can
only
get
makes
down to
shake
it.
your ass music.
Hell yeah.
It makes some fun stuff.
And we all know I love to shake my ass, so
Oh, God.
I'm getting
Shouldn't
down.
have took it there.
I'm getting down.
Shouldn't have took it there.
So let's rewind a little bit. Obviously, we know you've been DJing for a long time. How did you start out?
So actually, this makes my 10-year mark as a DJ, 2024.
Ooh, happy
Congrats, bro.
birthday.
Yeah, so I started DJing December of 2013. No, sorry, in 2014. I came home from basic training. I was National Guard, so I was able to go home as opposed to everybody else going to their assigned bases. My base was in New York, so I got to go home. And, I thought I was a really tough guy. I was fresh out of basic. I was still wearing my boots and everything like that. I had my dog tags hanging out. Walking to this bar in New Paltz. It's not here no more, but it used to be called Oasis Cafe in New Paltz.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. big time. And I come in, like I said, dog tags on, boots on, and I show my military ID trying to get in, see if maybe I could get, underage drinking, you know what I'm saying? And the bouncer looks me dead in the eye, and he goes, "Listen, Boot, go back to your car. You're going to tuck in your chains. You're going to change your fucking shoes, and then you're going to come back to me, and then I'll let you in. But you're not drinking here." So I was like, who are you? And he pulls out his military ID. It says Sergeant Heel. I said, okay, I'm coming. So I left, came back. And
That's
I
not
thought
the direction that I thought that was going to go.
Oh, it
so
gets
that's
crazy.
interesting.
So I got to talk to him a little bit more, and I found him to be a really cool dude. And his name was Brandon Heel, a.k.a. DJ Danger Boy. And we were talking for a little bit, and he was like, hey, have you ever thought about, like, music or DJing, anything like that? I was like, I'm into music, and I've always, like, been fascinated by DJing, but I never thought of doing it myself. He's like, I DJ here every Wednesday. Come on through, and I'll teach you how to DJ. And since then, it's been nonstop. I haven't stopped since.
That's an
Wow.
awesome story. I didn't even know that story.
Yeah. And, I just want to real quick speak on the fact that, like, shout out to everybody who is willing to extend the helping hand, right? Who's willing to take in an apprentice or willing to be like, you know what, I'll teach you how to do this skill that could get you somewhere. Like, I think that's so
Or even just
awesome.
inspire people. you know?
That too. Yeah, exactly.
And so I give the biggest shout out to DJ Danger Boy because
Shout out.
Shout out to you, DJ Danger.
if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done it. And he not only like taught me how to DJ, he taught me the DJ lifestyle, like how to because at the time I wasn't even like 21 yet, but I was old enough to get into bars and clubs, just not old enough to drink. But he would teach me like the lifestyle, like, okay, so a DJ acts like this, a DJ does it, like literally like the personality of how to be like a person on stage. and like how to be a partier, basically.
Right.
So I owe a lot to him. And the best part about learning how to DJ in New Paltz, all the other DJs of New Paltz would like to teach you what they know. So like in the time of me DJing in New Paltz for those 2 years, I was obviously my Jedi Master was Danger Boy. But every now and then, Miss Deezy from K104, DJ Vince will come in, and he'll be like, "Yo, this is my Padawan, da. And they'll be like, "Hey, let me show you something," and then they would teach me something. And there was other Padawans coming up at the time too, and like since then we've created like a really close bond. Like somebody that came up at the exact same time I came up, DJ Joey Fresh, he came out as basically like a turntablist, like a scratching and stuff like that, whereas I'm more of like a EDM and blending kind of DJ. So 2 different styles, but we both came up at the exact same time, and to this day, we're still DJing.
Which I'm sure makes you way more well-rounded as a DJ too, right? Like working with DJs of other styles.
And that's actually one of the best things. So then, like, flash forward a few years, I started doing like my own thing for a while, and I got on with the Crowd Kings. Like, they took me in as one of their students amongst a few other people, and they started teaching me their way of DJing and their way of doing things, and which led me to doing other parties besides clubs and bars and stuff like that. I was starting to get into the private parties like weddings and Sweet 16s, and that gave me like an idea, which now I see, okay, there's the club life and how people react to this type of music, how people listen to this type of music. And then there's the private life where people react to this, this, and this. And then where do they meet in the middle? And then that's when I started producing and finding that middle ground where people like the club music and people like the dance music and like, you know, private parties and stuff like that. Where do I find that middle ground and start making music like that?
And I'm sure a lot of people don't realize that there is such a huge difference between the private parties and the bars and clubs and stuff like that.
Huge difference.
Right?
Like, I can play at a wedding and at the club. I can play shots at both of them. The difference is one has to be clean, and the other one, it doesn't matter if it's clean or dirty.
Right.
But, like, if you're in a club setting, you know, you put your fucking hands up. But at a wedding, I can't say that. It's got to be like, put your hands up. It's a cleaner vibe to it. Like when I'm DJing at a club, I can wear this, I can wear a wife beater, I can wear like whatever I want. And then I go to a private party, I got to be suit and tie.
Right.
You know, so it's clean cut versus raunchy and fun.
Right. Do you love the fact that you can do both? Like you get to be your street self, and then you also get to clean up nicely and
yes and no.
Side? Mm-hmm.
It's work though, right? Like when you gotta put the suit
that's
and tie
really
on.
what it is. So when I'm doing clubs and bars and stuff, it's fun for me, you know. And I'm still, you know, getting that paycheck and doing all my other stuff. But to me, it's fun because there's nobody to tell me what I can and can't play.
A lot more freedom.
Exactly. I love the freedom of it all. When I'm working, you know, private parties like weddings and Sweet 16s, depending on the gig, I'll either love it or I'll hate it. There's some times where I'm DJing and I'm just looking at my watch like, when is this over? Or I got a bridezilla or some bratty Sweet 16 girl or whatever, and I'm just dealing with that. 50 million changes. Oh, so we're not going to do the shoe ceremony now, but we're going to do this and then this, and then we're not going to do
There's
this.
There's a lot of like
we're going to change 3 songs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible because at the same time, like at the time I'm also learning how to DJ, I'm also learning how to MC also. And a lot of the times I'm doing both at the same time. So there'll be weddings where I have to both DJ and MC. I have a list of songs I have to play as people are coming out. And I have to play those in a certain amount of certain order, stuff like that. And then last minute, oh, by the way, we're going to change this song to this song. We're going to do this and this. And then now this person's not here. So now this name is this. So like the whole day, like couple days worth of memorizing is gone. And now I have to read it off a list. And I feel like it looks unprofessional when you're reading it off of a list as opposed to having it committed to memory. But at that point, I got no choice.
Yeah, you got to just adapt to it. Yeah, I hear that. I just want to rewind a little bit. You said that you were in the National Guard.
Yes, I was in.
Thank you for your
4.5
service.
years. Oh.
Can't skip over that. Thank you for enlisting and all of that. When you first started out with DJing, were you always Prince of Chaos?
No. So when I first started DJing, I was just going by Jeff at first, like as a trainee. And then I took my first DJ name was Snow J, which is my last name because my last name is Nieves, which is Spanish for snow. And then my first letter of my name is J. So I just flipped it around, Snow J. And then it was like a bird logo.
Okay.
And then I kind of like started losing the feel for that. And because I was in the military and a lot of people were calling me a patriot, stuff like that, I was like, oh, let me go by DJ Patriot instead. So for a long time, I was going by DJ Patriot. That's why a lot of people, or sometimes you'll see on the podcast, people call me Pate.
Yep.
It's short for
Call
Patriot.
him Pate a lot.
We never know what to call him anymore.
It's Pate, it's
either
Chaos,
Pate,
it's
yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah, we all got like
it's-
7 names. We keep it fresh, you know?
Exactly. Keep it nice and fun. And then more recently, I want to say in the past 2 years, about 2-3 years, I was in Atlantic City with a friend of mine, and we were just drunk, and I completely left field. I was hugging a cactus, right? And
He is the Prince of Chaos.
That tracks.
and she
That
was
tracks.
like, you are literally, because at the time I was still like the Party Princes. That was the name of my group at the time. It was me and a few other people. We were like princes. She was like, you are literally the Prince of Chaos. And I'm literally in the middle of hugging this cactus, and I turn around and I go, what did you just say? She was like, you're the Prince of Chaos. I said, yes, I am. And from that day on, I've been Patriot Prince of Chaos.
He was born.
I like it. I like it.
I do remember the DJ Patriot days.
Oh yeah, those were the coming up days. So it was basically, so when I was with Danger Boy and the New Paltz crew and everybody like that, I was going by Snow J. And then when I moved over to like Middletown, Newburgh and all that, and started working with the Crowd Kings, and we were going through so many names of our group. We were like the Royal Fam, and then TPNS Records. Now we're just TPNS. And when we transitioned to that, that's when I took on the name Patriot. And then obviously once my homegirl was like, yo, you really are the Prince of Chaos, I was like, yeah, that fits me way better than DJ Patriot does.
I was going to say, it's so fitting for you in like every aspect.
In every aspect. I like to think so too. My whole life is just so chaotic, and
Right.
thanks to the gift of ADHD, you never know what you're going to get out of me.
Yeah.
So I think it fits me perfectly.
So
Definitely
speaking,
does.
sorry.
That's okay. Not allowed to speak on my own podcast.
No.
Fuck this.
I just wanted to say, speaking to the ADHD, do you find that helps you? Like a lot of people, and I've been really listening to a lot of podcasts that talk about, they're called learning differences now,
I can see that.
right? So do you feel like a lot of people refer to them as like giving you superpowers in certain ways? Like, sure, I may have a short attention span, but it makes me really good in this sense. Do you feel like it does that for you as well?
Well, like I said before, I have the gift of ADHD. I like to think of it. So growing up, obviously, when you're, a young kid, and then ADHD is not really a thing, in the early 2000s
Right.
and in the 90s. Like your parents are just like, no, you're just not paying attention enough, stuff like that.
Sure.
And then
Just a
eventually,
dumbass.
yeah, exactly.
We're all undiagnosed.
Oh no, I'm diagnosed 100%.
Well, no, I know.
Oh,
I meant
you
that.
guys, yeah. So then eventually, around I want to say 10 years old, they took me to a doctor, and they were like, "No, your son has something called ADHD." And in terms of schooling, it's the worst because I'm also dyslexic, also.
Okay.
So I got the double trouble. So in terms of learning in school, I'm not the best, but hands-on learning and visually learning, that's where I learn the best. So I like to say I'm a YouTube University graduate.
Yep.
Because that's where I learned more off of YouTube than I did in school.
Right.
And I like to say it's a gift because so one of the biggest things, and I've said this previously on the podcast before, was I like to call myself a social scientist because you have to read the room. You have to know sociology basically to be a DJ. You have to know what's in. You have to read the demographics of your crowd. I'll be like, okay, I see some people in their 30s. I see some people in their 20s, and I see a couple people in their 40s. Okay, so let me play some 90s hip hop first. Let me start off the night with 90s hip hop because I'm able to read the crowd differently. And I've come to notice that a lot of people with ADHD tend to notice we notice those little details.
Super observant.
That's really what it is. So I overanalyze everybody in the crowd, and that's what I feel like makes me a better DJ because then like I'm not just focusing on the whole crowd. I'm focusing on every individual in the crowd.
I've also heard too that people with dyslexia also are super skilled in auditory learning.
So I was telling last night, I was telling Jay, I can't read music because so dyslexia for a lot of people, and in my case it's a big thing. In my case, like I get like a lot of like lowercase b's and p's, q's, r's, and stuff like that. Like I'll get those flipped and mixed around. Mm-hmm. Now you give me music, which is a language entirely made out of D's, P's, Q's, and all this stuff, and I'm just like, But when I was in band class in high school, and I was so happy to Miss Santos, shout out Miss Santos, she never really forced me to read the music because she could tell that I was more of an auditory learner. So I would just listen to the song and I'd be like, okay, so this is what I'm supposed to do. And then that's what I would end up executing.
Yeah. So it's no surprise that you're so good at what you do because it's like you take in so much more by listening and visualizing all of it. Exactly. So that makes a lot of sense.
That's why I like I said, I like to call ADHD more of a gift than it is like some people call it like being neurodivergent or being like calling it a disability. But if you know how to use it,
right,
it's like when you're watching superhero movies. Like it's if you know how to use your power, you can either use it for good or let it destroy you. Mm-hmm. So that's the way I like to think of it.
And it's such a shame, too, that the education system hasn't caught up to that either. You know, this is my frustration. It's just that, like, you know, we all know that all of these things exist and people learn in such different ways. Mm-hmm. They got to catch up to that because so many kids were told, not told that they were stupid, but made to feel like they were stupid because they had these things.
Or that we didn't try hard enough.
Don't pay attention, don't care about school. But it's like, how do you expect somebody to just like not give up if they're constantly being told things like that and nobody's understanding like, no, I just take it in a different way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that changes be made.
And that's what I like. Soon. And that's what I like about now too, because I'm essentially a teacher now. I'm teaching. I have my own Padawans now. So I have, these two guys that just started working with us, and we have them more as like hype guys, but they started showing genuine interest in DJing. Shout out to Ronnie the Kid and Ace. And I've come to notice are not book learners either, but they're more visual learners. These kids, I call them kids, but these guys, they learned so fast, like within just a few lessons, that I'm like, okay, maybe I'm like the king of teaching people that are, not book smart, but like not
don't take it in that way.
Not like book learners, but as opposed to physical learners.
Right.
And being able to, help other people and do music in that way and show them my way of doing music. And seeing how, like, not the traditional way of doing music is always the right way. It might not be the right way for you.
Right.
As opposed to there's a new way, there's a different way for different people to be able to do music. This is one way to do it.
100%. And I think that was something that you experienced also, not to speak for you. But don't you feel that way, too? Like, look how successful you are with music. In school, you were like...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like, I hated school, and, like... I was the kid that like the teachers would tell my parents like, oh no, he's really smart though, and I didn't like believe that, because I always did bad. So like to me, I was just like, I can't do this, But I always say like, as I got older, learning how to do music, engineering, and producing was just something I was so interested in, and I did learn it quick, and I learned all these different things. So, I think that if you're into, for some people, you have to be really interested in learning something.
Exactly.
Or you have to, feel that like inspiration and be like, oh, like I'm going to learn this. I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
And that's why, once again, it goes back to like the ADHD thing. That's why I call it a superpower, because one of the things that ADHD people have is called hyperfixation. And I love it when I hyperfixate on something. So like if I'm like, so I learned how to produce relatively quick compared to like a lot of people that I've met, and they're still learning how to produce. I learned how to produce very quick. I think it's partially because of my DJ experience, and also the fact that I was able to just zone in and just be able to like not be able to focus on anything else going around me. I'd be like, okay, so this is the DAW. This is the user interface. This is what I got to do. Okay, da-da-da-da. This is C. This is this. I even taught myself music theory just like the hard way. And I'm still learning music theory in general, but I got like the general gist of it.
I remember listening to like Chaos's like first couple of beats, and I'm like, oh, these are like good. They're coming along, you know. And it was like a couple months later, he's like, yo, listen to this shit. And I'm like, who the fuck did this? It was like that drastic quickly, you know. And he's one of my favorite producers right now, you know, like just the stuff that, you know, we've been working on together and that he's working on. Stuff that we're working on with LO to Dawn is just, it's out of control.
Yeah.
Proud of you, bro.
That's high praise.
I got to see, you know, all of his progression over time, you know, so.
That's what I was going to say.
I've been there almost from the beginning with Chaos, so since he started.
I was going to say,
no, you were there at my first show when I first started working.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the Hamfish L Squad show.
Yeah, but you had started DJing before that, right?
I was DJing before that. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It was
gotcha.
I think it was probably 2 years after he started DJing that, you know, Chaos came to work with our crew and work a show with us. And from there on out, we've been boys and working together. So that's pretty awesome.
That Hamfish L Squad show, that was the one in New Paltz, right?
No, that was another one. That's the one I put on.
It was the this was Hamilton Fish EP release show.
In Montgomery.
The airport bar.
Oh, right. Okay.
2017, I think. Or 16.
16.
Gosh, that feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You guys have done so much since then. That's crazy.
I look back on it now because I went to my 10-year reunion last year for high school. And I'm like looking back on it and I look at my cousin. I'm like, bro, do you realize how much we've done in 10 years? Yeah. And it's like, it's ridiculous how fast time goes. Like 10 years is nothing. But in the same time, like I did a lot in 10 years.
Right.
I was security. I was in the military. I was landscaper. I was concert security. I was a bouncer. I'm a DJ. I started producing. I helped start a record label. Started working all these other people. And that's all in just like
video
10
production,
years.
media.
Learning video production and media and stuff. Like all of that in 10 years. I've learned all that. But if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it was like that.
Right.
It's crazy. It blows my mind.
We didn't go to our 10-year high school reunion.
I think the 25-year is the big one that people usually go to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or the 20-year, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I was banned.
You were. I hit up Jay. I was like, yo, you want to go? He goes, why would I want to go to that? You know what I mean? And I was like, that's so punk rock of you. We're not going. Like, we're skipping out.
I didn't even go to the prom.
Yeah. Oh, you're bugging, bro. I went to every school dance. Because here's my thing also. I used to be a very, very extroverted person. I like to think I'm more of like an introverted extrovert now.
Right.
But back then I was very extroverted. I wanted to make everybody my friend.
Yeah.
And I found myself very annoying after a while. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm being a little annoying. But I like you and I fuck with your vibe. Like,
no, it's good energy.
I sense your energy. Like, you good. Like, I want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
But then, like, as the years went on, I kind of became a little more secluded. Mm-hmm. But I went to every school dance. I went to every school event that was there. I took advantage of everything.
Yeah.
And then when I went to my 10-year reunion, I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't recognize you. I don't recognize you. I don't recognize you. And then, like, there was people, I'm like, oh, no, you still look the same from, like, high school. You still look the same. And then in the corner, there's my crew.
Right.
Like, off in the corner like it was in high school. And I'm like, there's my introverted peoples. Let's go. Not introverted, neurodivergent people.
Yeah. I had
the weirdo crew.
I went to all the dances. I went to my junior prom. Jay did not. I actually got stood up for that prom. So I went with my girls. And then I didn't go to senior prom. And I actually have some regrets about not going, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. I love when people have stories about their prom and, talk about like, oh, yeah, I slow danced with so-and-so. I don't know, whatever people say about their proms, right?
I was probably drunk at like 4 o'clock at somebody's house that day.
Now, I was
definitely were.
I was the asshole at every school dance that stole somebody's date.
Oh, you were that guy.
I had game back then. Now, I don't know where that went, but back then, like, I remember it was senior prom. This one girl, I'm not going to name drop, but this one girl, boyfriend was just like checking out some other girl in a dress, and she didn't like that, so she was like all crying and stuff like that. I was like, hey, come on, let's go on the dance floor. This song's nice. Let's go dance for a song.
We're gonna get back at him.
And then that's basically what happened. That,
He
that
doesn't
was like
see
my
you
move.
the way I see you.
Exactly. I was a very toxic asshole back then.
That's great. Okay, so now we're Prince of Chaos.
Yep.
Sorry, the prom thing. I'm sorry.
Once upon a time, not long ago.
Okay, so now you're
It
Prince
was
of
long
Chaos.
ago, Chad.
Well,
I was long.
it was
ago
longer
now.
for us than it was for him, unfortunately. For us, it was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, he's not that much younger.
I'm only 5 years younger than you guys.
Yeah. He just went to his 10-year
I
reunion.
guess 5 years is kind of half a decade.
Feels like a lot. Feels like a lot. He said his back hurt, and I was like, you have no idea.
Join the military.
Yeah,
and
I just
tell me
said
if
the
your
other
back
day.
don't hurt after that.
Me, Chaos, and LO are walking around the other day, and he's fucking limping everywhere. And I go, yo, you're the youngest guy in the fucking crew. Enough of this shit.
It ain't about the age of the car. It's about how many miles is on it.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I put a lot of miles on this car.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about mine. Got junked a long time ago. You know what I mean?
This car's a hoopty now.
All right, so you're Prince of Chaos now. Mm-hmm. Tell me about this project. I want to hear all about it.
So it started off like years ago, and around the time when I was learning how to produce, and it initially was going to be a full-length album with like all these songs. But then as I started learning more and I started getting better and better, and I started noticing and learning more about like music theory and stuff like that, and what people really listen to, and basically what really is me, I started eliminating it, and it went from a full-length album to a 3-song EP. And it was basically the 3 songs that I thought were the strongest and the 3 songs that represented my style of music. So like the first song is with a musician by the name of El Jefe Marv. It's called Peace. And it's a short freestyle, but it's got kind of like a trappy EDM kind of feel to it, but it's like a chill freestyle about like the shenanigans that are going on around the world. And then it ends for like the last 30 seconds is a dubstep drop. It goes from a quiet, peaceful la da 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 to the last 30 seconds is bum 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 bum. So people get the
Some
idea.
chaotic shit.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's like a trademark thing I've started doing with a lot of my music. Like, doesn't matter what beat I'm making, there has to be either like some switch up throughout the song. Like, it has to have that element of like, what the fuck was that? Like, why was that thrown in there? Like, not that it was bad, but it was weird. Like, what was that?
So when he shows me the song, if I don't give him a...
If I don't see this,
then he's like,
I'm
the song's not great.
The song's
I'm
not great.
working on it still.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. Like, it'll totally change at the end, like change chord progression, tempo, and then I'm like, what did you do here? Sick.
I'm intrigued.
But Chaos is also one of the few people, I swear, like, he shows me shit. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I'm blown away all the time by your work, man.
Thank you. And then the second song on the project is the first single I released. I ended up re-releasing it with the EP because I liked it so much. Is Chaos Anthem, which is a dubsteppy type of song. No real lyrics are in there, but it's just vibe out for a good chunk of music and then hear the drop. And it's the best thing to listen to if you're like road rage driver. Listen to it, trust me. You won't destroy things, I promise. You won't destroy things. It will make you want to, but then the music would also mellow you out at the same time. And you're just like, yeah. That's basically what's going to happen to you.
I love that.
And then the last song in the EP is a song that there was like a lot of controversy with this song. I don't want to get into it, but it's called We All Right. And it's with one of my best friends, Hello to Dawn of L Squad. And we spent 2 years on this song. Like, there was like a lot of changes that were made and a lot of different things that were switched out. It took 2 years to finish this song out, but once it was done, we started, I was like switching out elements to the song, right? And it was done. I showed Elo. He's like, yo, this is great. And then my elbow hit the piano. And I had apparently was like searching through like different sounds, and my elbow hit the piano, and it played this sound, and it just so happened to be in key, and I went, and he looked at me, he goes, no. I go, oh yeah, we're adding another verse to this song. We're doing a switch up at the end. It's gonna go from trappy dubstep to fucking house and party vibe. It's switching up completely now. And then once I finished that up, he was like, this is ridiculous. Oh my God. I'm like,
that is a great fucking song.
Thank you.
You're like a mad scientist.
I like to think so.
He's a social scientist.
I'm a mad social scientist.
All right.
I don't want to say it too much. I want that to be the next title.
MSS.
You know what I mean?
Next title for what?
The next EP or the next song.
Well,
or
the more we
something.
talk about it, the more it gets like willed into existence.
Yeah. Social scientist.
Speak it into existence.
Whisper it into existence.
I mean, I just think that like what you bring to the table is unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Thank you very much.
It's literally, I just said it. You're like a mad scientist, but it's really no better way to put it. You know, like you do these creative things and make these creative choices. And also good on you to be able to take so many songs and narrow it down to 3.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not something, I mean, again, I'm not a musician. I'm not a DJ. I'm not a producer. I'm not any of these things. I do feel like that would be something I'd have the hardest time doing. So I think that speaks to you a lot that you were able to be like, no, these 3 are the ones that
and I didn't want to
be.
get them overshadowed
Exactly.
with other stuff that I felt was not there on that level.
I think that was a good choice. Sometimes, sometimes people just dump, and it's hard to appreciate each record individually.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So to be able to narrow it down, there's 3, soak them in, really let it marinate. That was an awesome choice.
Thank you very much.
I really commend you for that. I couldn't have done it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's
Thank you
really
very
great.
much. But yeah, and that's peace, love, and chaos, y'all.
Peace, love, and chaos.
Definitely got to go stream that.
Yeah.
100%. Everywhere you can stream music is where you can find it. YouTube, SoundCloud. Actually, no, it's everywhere but SoundCloud.
All right, so we've got peace, love, and chaos. What else can we look forward to?
Okay, so currently right now, in multiple top secret projects with both your brother and Elo to Don. And I can't talk about it right now. Because, top secret, you know how it is.
But we got some shit coming.
We got some fire coming.
Every time these guys say they've got some stuff coming, I get all excited. My hair stand up. I get goosebumps. I'm like, this is going to be so
And
fire.
then she hears it and she's like, whoa.
Yeah, literally. I'm like the kids at the aquarium. When I listen to your music, so I'm just like, what? This is so good. But then it turns into, when I get to see you guys do your thing in person, then again, the goosebumps, the hair stand up. And it's just like, it's so cool to see everything come to fruition.
Well, I'll ask you this, Chaos. Will the people be seeing the Prince of Chaos coming to do his EDM music live in 2024?
Oof.
If anything, like my own original music and my remixes that I make, probably during the summer.
Okay.
If I'm going to start really cranking them out, because as Hard Bernard has witnessed to a bunch of them, I've started dabbling now into making remixes, which is something I've noticed like a lot of other DJs do. And I end up playing a lot of other DJs' remixes all the time when I'm doing gigs and clubs and stuff. And I'm like, why not just start making some of my own? Like, I can make a house remix. I can make a dubstep remix. I can do this. I was like, you know what? Let me start going and start dabbling into that. So I think, maybe during the summer, you're going to start hearing a lot more of original remixes and original music from me.
Awesome.
100%.
I just think, I think personally that, I've told you this before off the record, obviously, but that, I think it's important for you to eventually, go out on your own as a DJ producer, but like just playing your music, like doing the Prince of Chaos set, you know what I mean? Not just DJing for people, just because, I think you have a lot of talent, and I think a lot of people need to hear this stuff. And I think especially for the EDM scene, like needs you, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and
man.
your music. And, I think New York City would be a great place for you, to even try to find like a residency or something and start getting your shit out there. So
The people need it.
Yeah, well,
We need it.
I'm Chaos's fake manager, by the way.
nah, he's about to be my official manager, honestly.
I always I'm telling you, like, we're always having meetings at the house, and I'm like, no, this is what you need to do. I'm like, you know what? I'm your manager from now on. And then I'll tell him, he'd be like, yeah, we'll see, dude.
He's like, you're not on this program yet? You need to get on this program right now. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me get some bread up first.
No, I mean, hey, I'm okay with summer. I be outside in the summertime. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, that's
And a
good
lot of
timing for me.
And a lot of my music and my remixes, I like to, I feel like they have more of a summery kind of vibe. Like,
Right.
I like to make nostalgic music. Like, I want you to listen to my music, and when I say like certain people, I want people that are of my age demographic. I want them to listen to my music and start thinking back to 2010 to 2012 EDM music.
It's my favorite.
The birth of dubstep and the height of progressive house and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that was like the golden era of EDM. Was like between, actually, I want to say it was like between 2009 and 2014 was like the golden era of EDM.
Right.
I'm trying to get that drum gig too with him, to play drums for the Chaos.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That'd be fire.
We
I mean, not for nothing. You play the drums on half of my songs.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like we got a lot of stuff in the works, but I just want to, like I said, put that out there in the universe, and let the people know that are gonna go and stream your record, that eventually you will be out there playing those songs. So.
Yeah. So for right now, I'm still doing like local gigs. Like I DJ at Billy Joe's, to all the people out in the Newburgh area, you could come to Billy Joe's on 420, and we're doing a 420 party there. It's going to be huge. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be myself and DJ Mike G.
Smoke out.
And we're going to have a good time.
That's a perfect date for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's a perfect.
Halo hit me, or DJ Grand Finale, sorry. He's like I said, we all have like 30 nicknames.
That's the OG name. That's what, shout out Lonz, he's always like, he's like, yo, I know you known Grant a long time because you call him Halo.
Anybody that knows the Halo name has known him way back when. Mm-hmm. But shout out DJ Grand Finale. He straight up, it was this past Monday, we were having our usual like meetings and stuff like that, media and music and stuff like, and gigs. And he looks at me, he's like, by the way, April 20th, you and Mike G, you guys are doing the 420 party at Billy Joe's. I'm not going to be available. Okay. And I went, dope. All right. No doubt. Cool. I'll take that.
I need somebody to book me like that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, by the way, you're going to be here at this time. Just show up.
It's great.
Do your thing.
100%.
No, I mean, you guys rock it. Like, you rock it at
Thank
Billy
you.
Joe's every single time.
Thank you. I try. It took years of learning. I'll openly admit I sucked for a long time. I really did. Even my mom told me I sucked.
Yeah.
My mom straight up was like, you sucked when you started. I was like, I started.
Right.
That's what I think everybody who's listening should just also know that like when you start something, it's like you're not going to be good. I don't care who you are. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, I'm not good at that stuff or a certain thing. But it's like you have to put the time in. You have to get through the bad part. Like anything that's great is hard work, and you're not going to be great at it because it takes real dedication to be great.
Right.
Hard work
100%.
and dedication. And, just like you said, you put 10 years into this game, and you're just getting started.
Yeah, basically.
What other venues do you DJ at as of right now? Where else can they see you?
More commonly, it's just Billy Joe's
Okay.
or the Academy in Poughkeepsie.
Academy, okay.
I'm currently right now working on getting some new set of wheels so I can start venturing out and getting more gigs. But I
Right.
try to stick more local
Yeah.
to where I can get to.
Well, you're dominating over here.
Thank you very much. I
I'll be
appreciate
getting
that.
I'll be getting them out into New York City by 2025, guys.
100%.
Damn right. I can't wait for that.
Oh yeah. I
Any
can't wait for that.
inquiries, contact me, jbmanagement@gmail.com.
Yeah, take a listen to my music and
real?
tell me where I fit.
Do you really have that email address?
It's been my email for like
That's
10
his email.
years.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've been managing myself and
I
other
know,
artists for
I
a
know.
long time.
And like 50 bands.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't sure if you were trolling. Sometimes I have a hard time telling. I'll cut that out.
No, keep that in.
Yeah, I have it because I'm a auto parts manager. JB Management.
So, what is it about EDM music that calls to you?
So I'm a 90s baby. And that's basically where like EDM started becoming really popular because house music was a thing.
Do you think you're better off alone?
Prime example is that song right there. Like when progressive house and like techno and all that was really
so
starting
nostalgic to me. Oh
build
my God.
up. And that's what I really listened to. So even though I grew up in the Bronx, my parents didn't really listen to hip hop. So it was either Spanish music or what was on the radio. And whatever was on the radio was always house and techno and stuff like that in the early 90s and much earlier 2000s. So I really didn't get into hip hop until high school. And that's around the time I had moved up here too. So it was kind of a weird flip. You know, moved to upstate and starts doing hip hop, whereas I lived in the city and I was listening to EDM the whole time.
Right.
But then, but it's more of like the nostalgic factor for me. But then once again, like I said, going into from 2010 to 2014, that golden era of EDM when I was listening to dubstep and the like Swedish House Mafia, listening to Skrillex, listening to Diplo and all these people, and I was just like blown away. Alan Walker is another one, Martin Garrix, like all these people, they were making symphonies to me. Like to me, it sounded like a symphony, like how some people will go to an opera and be like, oh my God, like this fulfills me. Like that's what EDM does for me. And that's all facets of EDM. Like I love techno. I love dubstep. I love drum and bass is like my latest thing now. Like I'm really getting into drum and bass. It's starting to pick up really heavily here in the US now. Like it had a huge scene before, but now it's starting to really become more mainstream now. Like hell yeah. It's very famous in the East. Oh damn.
You cut off my robot. I was about to go hard. It's my go-to move.
So I like to say it's more of the nostalgic feeling, really.
Yeah.
Like if it makes me feel good. So like I have like a lot of bad days. I have a lot of good days, but more bad days than not because obviously I live in New York. Right. So everybody here has depression, and therapy is expensive, and it's only once a week. So what else am I gonna do the rest of the week? I'm gonna make music that makes me feel good. Exactly. And I'm one of those weirdos that when I'm in a bad mood, if I want to feel good, I'm playing like either death metal or I'm playing like hardcore dubstep and rip out dubstep. Like that's what makes me feel better. Like most people that would be like, oh, that'll make me more angry. I'm like, that calms me down. That makes me relaxed. Exactly. For some reason,
that was so good.
It's perfect. Actually, sample that. I'm gonna sample that.
Yo, cut that and send it to him.
I like to think
clip that.
Those low bass tones that are in your face is serotonin just directly injected into your brain. Like you can't hear like a nice rumble, like a nice woo, and not feel satisfied.
I just hit my inner eardrums when you did that in the best way. You know when the bass just like really.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, so we grew up in the back of cars that were vibrating, bro. Right?
212s in the back.
Yeah, I remember
every Latino
one time,
had a blasting freaking.
Listen, my uncle one time had the bass like so crazy in his car. Do you remember? Yeah. I, at one point, and I was a child, I was like, I think I'm having a heart attack.
Yo, you know what's the funniest shit that I remember about this? You know, we're talking about our Uncle Lou. He had this Camry with 212s in the back. And, you know, back then, everything was mixtapes, right? So, like, you know, you would get, you know, I was a kid, so I don't know, but it's like, back then, obviously, you know, people had mixtapes and, you know, there's like, remixes all over like people's beats and all these different people. And I remember hearing I don't know if you remember, this is really funny. I remember hearing My Way by Usher, but it was somebody else singing it. You know what I mean? And it was just like different. It was like a remix, you know, they had like done a little bit different to the beat, but it was like similar lyrics and stuff. And I remember like hearing that and then for like years being like, was I tripping? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck was that song? And I remember, like, you know, and then as I got older and I got into hip hop, I understood, oh shit, like mixtapes and back then you used to be able to go buy mixtapes under the train on Broadway,
or you go to any gas station and it's sitting right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, you know, anywhere, especially like in the hood, you could find people selling CDs and mixtapes and all this stuff.
On Tuesday, this guy's selling bootlegs, and then on Thursdays he's selling mixtapes.
Yeah. So it was just, I remember being in that car and hearing that song, and for years being like, "Was that real?
Did I imagine that?
Or was I like tripping?" And it
that
just
a fever
sounded
dream?
really different.
Also, shout out to Usher's "My Way" because we used to listen to that on
Great
cassette,
fucking
on
record.
repeat, on
Great
repeat,
fucking
on
record.
repeat. And I'm gonna just throw this out there. This is so like left field. This episode is gonna be coming out well after the Super Bowl, and I'm just gonna say now, if he does not do "My Way" or even a piece of it at the halftime show at the Super Bowl, I'll be tight.
I'll
I'm
bet
gonna be
you
salty.
$5 he doesn't.
He's always trying to gamble, dude. Seriously, I'm
$5.
not shaking on it.
Come on,
She
let's
doesn't
make
want to will it
interesting.
into existence.
No, he has to do it, or I'm gonna be. What's the point?
7 o'clock on
What
the
I'm
dot.
exci-
I got my drop top, cruising the streets.
Wait.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's a classic right there. Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, shout out Mom for playing inappropriate music for us when we were kids. It was great.
No.
It shaped us into the awesome people we are today.
She's gonna kill you for that one.
We're gonna have her on.
And this is a good tell
at me.
for knowing if you're neurodivergent or not. The one thing I'm looking forward to on the Super Bowl is SpongeBob singing "Sweet Victory" because I'm gonna lose my absolute shit. That song was amazing when I was a kid. That episode, the Bubble Bowl episode,
Yep.
I always thought that song was sick. It was my ringtone for the longest time, and then they did him dirty the year of Travis Scott, where they started it out, everybody got hyped and didn't play it. I was so mad. I didn't watch the rest of the Super Bowl that day.
My son is newly into SpongeBob.
Oh, you got to put him onto the Band
He knows.
Geeks. Oh, okay,
He
good.
knows. He's already into it. He already sings it.
Yeah, the older episodes of SpongeBob is what you got to raise them on.
Oh.
Then
100%.
once you start seeing better graphics, then just rerun it back.
Gotta
again.
look terrible.
Yeah, go back to the terrible graphics.
We will. I also still say Weast all the time.
I still
Weast?
East.
Yes.
I thought you meant Weast. I'm one of those people that still quote SpongeBob to this day.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
100%.
Krusty Krab, yeah.
Oh, I got a concussion
yeah,
because of that song.
Yeah. Pizza is the pizza, yeah, for you and
Me.
I'm glad he did it. I wasn't going to.
I really thought you might, and I was so happy he didn't because nobody wants to hear
That's
me
my
do that.
favorite part of doing it. I will always do. On my dating profile, it says the song I sing a lot is the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza. I haven't had any matches lately, and I wonder why.
I can't figure that out. All right.
Yeah, I don't do high octaves. Paul does that for me. So if he's not around,
I'm surprised I nailed that.
No, you did nail it. I can't wait to watch that.
I'm clipping that.
Elo's probably like, what the hell is going on?
since I, yeah.
You gotta hit the yeah in it, you know, Krusty Krab, yeah. You know what I mean?
So
You gotta
here's
make
a
the
real
faces.
question, though.
Yes.
Is Taylor Swift winning the Super Bowl?
Taylor Swift is winning life.
Listen.
She's winning life.
Listen, I am in a playoff pool, and
Shocking.
if KC wins, I win $300 off of 25. So I'm going with the Swifties tonight.
yeah.
yeah.
I don't give a
Okay.
fuck
Hey,
About
I'm a
anybody.
Swiftie, 100%.
about anybody's opinion or what team you root for. If you're mad that the Swifties are watching football, I don't care. I just need KC to win.
100%.
And if they don't win, I'm going to break shit and I'm never watching football again. I'm already not a football fan, just to let my audience know. It's not my thing.
Have you seen these
Wow.
bets, though, that are on like DraftKings and stuff like that, where it's like number of times they're going to show Taylor Swift on the camera?
Oh my
yeah, I
God,
stay
more
away-
things to
no,
bet
I
on.
There's
stay
like an
away
over
from
and
shit like
under
that.
that you can bet on. You can bet on Taylor Swift, like how many times they're going to show her on camera. Or if she, there's actually a bet out there also, like there's a spread out there that's like if she actually does make it to the Super Bowl from Japan, stuff like that. I'm like, so are we betting on sports or are we betting on Taylor Swift at this point?
Listen,
They'll bet on anything.
their
I'll-
ratings have never been better.
Look, I just tried to bet her on fucking My Way at the halftime show, but she's scared.
Taylor Swift
Scared?
comes
She
out
won't
and
even
sings it.
she won't even take a gentleman's bet on the podcast, live on the
A
podcast.
gentleman's agreement. Huzzah.
Only an addict says gentleman's bet.
Whatever. Say what you will.
So
Whatever helps you sleep at
Stay
night.
tuned to find out who's winning this bet that I refuse to take. Let's just
She's
put it
not
that
gonna
way.
take it, but we'll let you know who would have won
Well, you'll know when you watch the Super Bowl and they do or do
Had
not
Cindy
do my
had
way.
some guts.
So thank you so much, Jeff Pate Chaos,
Chaos.
for joining us.
JPC.
She used my full government name.
JPC.
We love you dearly. We're so thankful for everything you do, music-wise, on the podcast, and all the videos you do for us, all of the above.
You're a legend, bro.
And you're
Thank
one of
you,
our
guys.
favorite humans. So thank you so much for hopping on here.
Don't insult me like that again.
He's an extraterrestrial. I can't say it. Extraterrestrial.
I'm just a thing.
He's a thing. He's not a who. He's a what.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking alien.
So everybody go check out Peace, Love, and Chaos. Available everywhere but SoundCloud. And that's it. Jay, you want to take us out?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Pete.
Thank
We
you
love
guys for having me on here, man.
Love you dearly.
It's always a fun time being on here.
All right. So on 3, we're gonna say instead of peace, we're gonna say chaos today. How's that?
Ooh.
You guys cool with
Me
that?
like
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's do
All
it.
right. 1, 2, 3. Chaos!